Wow. What?
You get this only nowhere else but the Kevin is after that. Kevin, I'm not gonna lie.
Now we're not look at this. A carved penguin. There it is.
Oh no. Are the O's fine? Are the Orioles fine, Kevin?
It's so embarrassing. I was so embarrassed.
Okay. The Orioles stole it. That game was stolen. It was stolen from them, then they stole it right back.
What?
Oh my
Wait, what's going on?
What is
happening?
What is going on? Was it a diving play? He bobbled the ball.
What is happening? Are they challenging it? No. Other wall. No.
Kevin, I don't know what you saw, how much you saw. I've been chugging champagne. Sure, I spilled a lot, but what a game, man.
He will be the legendary
Birdfish.
How about that?
Birdfish fans, stand up. We did it.
What can I say? What can I say?
Let's talk about it. Orioles lose again. Orioles get blown out again. The Orioles offense disappears again. Orioles give up an insane amount of runs again. Orioles get 3 hit. Orioles score 1 run, lose 9-1 to the Minnesota Twins, who got 9 runs on 10 hits. Yeah, just another bad game of baseball. Don't know what else to say. It was another bad day of baseball. I mean, that's where we're at right now. You know, unfortunately, that's where we're at, where every single day I don't show up to watch the Orioles thinking that it's good. You know, it used to be, okay, let's try to turn it around. Let's try it. Now it's just, it feels like a chore to watch this team. I mean, we go out there, 2.5 hours of just watching the offense, unable to put up runs, watching the pitching, unable to hold the other team to any runs. I mean, shout out Cade Povich for finding a way to go 6 innings. That saved the bullpen at least. But, you know, 5-run innings aren't going to win you a lot of ball games. And hold up, or my – so this was, I was, Jason, not to doubt you, but I was just had to check Twitter because I was begging, praying that this was not true. It is. Charlie Morton will start for the Orioles tomorrow. Unbelievable. Yeah. Charlie Morton starts for the Orioles tomorrow. I'm sure that game will be competitive. I'm sure that game will be competitive. But let's talk about tonight. Orioles lose 9-1. Let me look up what was the final runner in scoring position number. Do we even someone have the well, I'm looking it up. Does anyone have offhand? Orioles with runners in scoring position tonight, because I always love checking this. 1 for 6. 1 for 6. Continue to be the worst hitting team with runners in scoring position in the league. They're below the White Sox. They're below the Rockies. I believe before this game, they were batting 194 with runners in scoring position. That went down tonight. Actually, no. Actually, maybe that went up. No, that went down. That went down. I tried to do quick math. Gosh. You know, I'm just going to talk to him right now from behind the screen. Kevin, I'm so glad you showed up, because I'm speechless right now. I am. So let's welcome on Kevin Ostreicher. Kevin, this is, I mean, like, I legitimately haven't, like, you sit here trying to talk about this 9-1 game where they showed no life again. You know, they just got beat up by a team that's not playing well. And then you get the news after that Charlie Morton's starting tomorrow. And it's like, awesome. So now we're going to try this experiment again. You know, it's just, this whole thing has been brutal.
Yeah, I mean, you want to just record tomorrow's episode now, and we can have a premiere, because you know, it's nothing new. I mean, I've said for a while I'm out on this team for this year. I don't really care if they turn it around or not. I mean, they're not displaying winning habits, and if they do turn it around, then I'd be more than happy to eat my words. But I mean, we can't just keep saying, "Oh, it's early. Oh, it's another really bad loss and a lot of bad problems, but it's early." You know, we're not 10 games into the year anymore. We're not 20 games into the year anymore. We're not even 30 games into the year anymore. You want to do it. The Orioles now being 13-21, they have played 34 games. 34 divided by 162. They are 20, almost 21% of the way through their season. They're literally right at 21%. That is a fifth of the way, more than a fifth of the way through their season. They still can barely hit with runners in scoring position. They didn't even hit tonight, but like still, they can't hit with runners in scoring position. I mean, Mountie actually did something. That was the only thing the offense did.
Jackson got hit. I didn't put that out there.
I know, but I mean, like, again, that's the only run the Orioles scored, and you just, I mean, I guess this is such a twisted way of looking at things, but you know, when the Orioles have had this start to the year, you know, at a certain point, you can only start looking at things in twisted ways. At least everything was just bad today. You know, there was no performance where you said, man, they really let X down. Yeah. Everybody let everybody down today. You know, because this was a loss that you could just feel coming after the third inning happened. You know, once that third inning happened, I had no hope. And it sucks, because like, I feel like it's not just me, and it goes back to June. And again, there are debates about whether, you know, it's fair to group last year into this year. I think it is fair. Personally, I know some people don't, but I do. Like, this has been a problem for almost the last calendar year. And I know they didn't play baseball for, you know, a bunch of those months, but, you know.
But we're approaching, I mean, Kevin, remember, let's take it back to last year. It was, it's the last 20 games. Oh, it's the last 30 games. Oh, it's the last 40 games. Then it's the last 60 games, the last 70 games. Then into this year, it was, over the past 90 games, over the past 100. Kevin, it's like over the past probably 120 games, 130 games that this team is like 10 games below 500. I mean, like, let me look it up. I mean.
Yeah, they were like 7 games under the last time we checked, but that was like 2 weeks ago. So I don't really know. But I mean, here's the biggest, while you look that up, here's the biggest issue. It's May. What do we talk about in May? Schedule. This is the time to do it with this schedule. If they can't get it done now, they're not going to get it done.
Yeah.
You have it. You have the stat.
I have last 112 games since July 1st. The Orioles are 51-61 and are 10 games below 500. That includes they started that streak out winning 3 of 4 and the first 2. So really, you could say in their last 110 that they're 49-61. So 12 games below 500 in the last 110. Kevin, maybe this team, like, what's going on? Like, this is where I'm like,
I mean, look, forgive me because I don't keep up with the Rangers as much as I do the Orioles, obviously, but the Rangers fired their hitting coordinator or offensive coordinator on May 4th. So 2 days ago. The Rangers won, and I don't know. Look, I'm not sure if the firing happened before or after they played on May 4th. So again, forgive me because I don't know the timing of everything. I don't even know when they played on Sunday. But May 4th is when the Rangers fired their offensive coordinator. The Rangers, since then, 8 runs on May 4th. They had an off day yesterday, and today they won 6-1.
Yeah.
After
they were
having
the worst
stretch
team in baseball.
They were awful, and in the 4 games prior to that, they had – well, actually, you can go back even further. They had a 15-run explosion against the A's on April 29th, but I'm going to throw that out. In their games since April 23rd, outside of that offensive explosion, 2 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs, 1 run, 1 run, 0 runs, 1 run, 1 run. And then they fire their offensive coordinator, and then they get 8 runs and 6 runs back-to-back. A move has to happen. It had to happen 2 weeks ago. It has to happen even more now. And I'm not saying that move has to be Hyde. I mean, I've been pretty consistent on this show that I don't think Hyde is the right guy for this version of the Orioles team. I don't think they'd make that move right now, even though I believe that they should. But is that a pitching coach? Is that one of their new hitting coaches? Is that a...
And I love that we brought the hitting coaches in from Seattle who...
Yeah, weren't they like the second worst offense or top 5 worst offense in the league last year?
They left Seattle because Seattle was a laughingstock offensively, and
then who was?
And now Seattle's actually producing offensively. So their guys that were batting horrendously last year have turned it around. Must be nice.
Yeah, But
I agree. It sucks because someone's going to be the scapegoat. Like someone's going to be the scapegoat because I doubt it's all on just one. Like this isn't on one person. This starts at the top with Mike Elias. This goes to Sig Mejdal. This goes to Brandon Hyde. This goes to all the pitching coaches, the hitting coaches, the guys. It goes top to bottom. But someone's going to have to be the scapegoat. I don't see them moving on from Mike Elias, especially not midseason. They're not just going to fire.
I think Elias is safe beyond this year. Is that the right decision? I mean, that's a different conversation.
I don't know.
But I mean, it's going to be
They'll give him another manager.
Yeah, it's going to be Hyde before Elias. That's just, it is what it is. You can agree or disagree with that. I'm not saying that, you're right or wrong either way, but I Zach and I are here to tell you what we think is going to happen, with our emotions obviously in it, but also, put our emotions aside for some of these things. And, we're not just going to scream fire Elias, fire Hyde, fire. Like we also have to be realistic about, timelines for these things. And honestly, it feels like Hyde would be the one to go first, and then Elias would be the one to go second. And I saw in the chat, Dog Training Plus put this out here. Yes, this is correct. Matt, oh my God, what's his last name? I can't even remember his last name. Borg Schultz, or however you say that. I butchered that, but Borg Schultz, I don't know. But yes, he went to the Twins. Yeah. And he is their hitting coach now.
Yeah. And Kevin, I do think this is a shameless plug time because good or bad, we're talking about him. Tomorrow, Mike Elias joins the Ryan Ripken Show. So see you all at 2:30. We will have our interview with Mike Elias. So we'll see what happens.
Well,
Should be fun. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
So hit that like and subscribe button here. Also,
and I will say that Elias has taken accountability, in some of his answers. I know that is still not enough for the team performing badly, right? You can take accountability, but the move still happened, and everybody could see it coming. So, accountability is not going to save you in this situation. It's good. but it's not. Accountability doesn't make the Orioles win games. The players on the field. And
yeah, it's like, I mean, some you look at some of the obviously just the moves that this offseason, not only, yes, they go get Morton, that hasn't worked, but then you also like the guys like Nick Pivetta got 4 years, $55 million from the Padres. That's a guy 32 years old. Orioles could have easily given him 3 years.
That was someone.
He's got
You gave me crap for that, by the way. You asked me.
I didn't think we weren't going to get anyone.
What pitcher do you want? And I said Nick Pivetta, and you gave me hell for that. And now look at me.
And
look
you
at
know
me.
what, Kevin? We want to talk about off-season failures. We got one shoved right down our throat tonight. Danny Coulomb, 1, 2, 3. Strikeouts.
I thought of you. I thought of you when
Kevin. I'm going to say something as just transparent as possible. After he struck out Seti and Gunnar, and he got 2 strikes on Adley, I was like, screw it, just make a point, Danny. I was like, just put us out of our misery. I was like, just strike him out. I was like, just get it out of the way,
Oh, yeah. I had a point I was gonna make. Maybe it'll come back to me. I can't remember it now. But in the meantime, let's get to some chats here. Kyle, member for 1 month. Crazy. Where members have already been up for a month. Memberships. The call-ins have been awesome. If you want to call into the show here after games, obviously you can become a member, and we'd love to talk to you. Orioles, or if you don't want to talk about this horrible baseball team right now, we can talk about something else.
They're playing bad baseball.
They're playing horrible baseball. It is awful.
I think they are a bad team at their core. I think they have a lot of great players. I think they still have a championship level core, meaning the Jackson Holidays, the Gunners. I think all of them can be your core for a championship team. They have done shit about putting enough guys around them to produce. Last year was the closest thing we got when we got Corbin Burns. When they made a trade for Corbin Burns, now granted, I believe that was because they knew about Bradish and they were like, okay, we need that guy. But they lost Corbin Burns this year, and they were okay with not replacing him. So that's just the most difficult part.
I mean, I have said this over and over again. This has been a top to bottom organizational failure. Everybody is involved. The players, the coaching, the decision makers, everybody is not safe. Now, again, debates on who was more to blame. It's another conversation, because I know there are a lot of varying opinions. Is it Elias? Is it Hyde? Is it the players? Is it the ownership? There are a lot of differing opinions on that. But I never, even on Locked On Ravens, when I talk about the Ravens, I never put it all on John Harbaugh. I never put it all on Lamar Jackson or Mark Andrews. Like, everybody has a part to play. Now, who has the biggest part? Who's the lead? We can have a different conversation. And see, Money, appreciate you for the $5. I'm sorry, but Torrey and Lasorda couldn't win with this pitching. They can't get past the 5th inning ever. This is on Mike 1,000%. Hyde is just the fall guy. And look, I don't blame you for feeling that way. I know that some people feel the other way, but I don't blame anybody for having their mindset here, because honestly, there are valid points for every argument of the Orioles did not do enough this offseason to continue to improve their roster. They took a step back. And Zach and I, if you listen to us in the offseason when we did shows after signings, the first thing we said was, hey, this can be a move, but not the move. Turns out everything was the move, and that was the wrong approach. The second thing we said is that on paper, it was legitimately a worse roster, because Corbin left and Tony left. And even if you thought that O'Neill versus Santander was a push, or even O'Neill was a little better, losing Burns and getting essentially nothing in his spot, not even a Corbin Burns level player, but even anything close, Crochet, Pivetta, all the names, Evaldi, like that.
If they would have gone out, listen, if instead of signing Charlie Morton, if they would have simply gone out and signed Nate Evaldi, and I know he wanted to stay in Texas because of his family and all that stuff. He was never leave. He like 2 days in after the winter meetings, he just re-signed with Texas on a cheap, like $30 million deal. So I get it. Maybe that wasn't an option. But if you replace Charlie Morton with a Nate Evaldi, who's doing what he's doing, and then obviously, you do have an injury to Eflin. But if you would have gotten Nate Evaldi, who is pitching well right now, and you could say, okay, you went out, you got Evaldi, you got Sagano. Unfortunate, Eflin and Grayson are down right now. But you could say those 4 are a good start to your rotation. I don't think you have any alphas in that, guys that you're like, there's a clear-cut number one. But that would have been 4 very good, what I think are high-end 2s, a good 2. I think that would have been, okay, they tried to do something. When you're going, okay, here's Charlie Morton. Let's see if that works. Okay, here's Kyle Gibson. Let's see if that works. Then it's like, okay, are we just scrambling? Like, it didn't feel like there was a clear plan to help get, go to the next guy, succession plan. It feels like there was no, okay, what's the backup after Burns leaves? It was like, okay, can we try to moneyball our way into this?
Yeah, and that's frustrating because the second they traded for Corbin, I've said this over and over again. It just feels like we could write out a whole script and just read word for word, and we'd have the same episode every night of this show because that's what's happening. But I've said it over and over again. It's the second they traded for Corbin Burns was the second they placed all these expectations on themselves. It's the second they said, hey, we're going to do what we can to go all in and try to compete and try to win a World Series. This is the young core we have, and let's go add these veteran pieces around them to go and compete. And they made that move with Corbin. And that was, to me, the second that they told Orioles fans, they told the baseball world, hey, this is our time now. We're now one of the big dogs. We're trying to compete for World Series. And again, the offense fails in the playoffs after a failure of the second half of the season. And, I don't think, it's going to be a while before I forget that Corbin went out there and just battled on that mound in game 1, and the offense could do nothing for him. And, the same thing in game 2, like the pitching shows up and the offense just can't get anything. And then they turn around, and yes, Tony's not a good beginning of the year hitter. And of course, when he's hot, and when he's not, he's really not. But that was someone who was leader in your clubhouse, and now you're staring down the face of 2 more clubhouse leaders potentially leaving this upcoming offseason. No extensions for anybody. We can't even sit here and celebrate a Gunnar extension or a Jackson extension, or people feel differently on Adley, but even an Adley extension, right? It just, we don't have anything. We don't know, with a lot of these teams in these dynasties, and we've said it over and over, Zach, that door can shut smack. It can shut right in your face. It can shut.
The White Sox were supposed to be the next big thing. The Cubs, when they won the World Series, it was supposed to be the next 10 years. It can close. Listen, Kevin, there are opportunities when you are rebuilding to just throw the window open or slam it shut, and they are much closer to it slamming shut than it flying wide open. They had an opportunity this offseason.
I don't know what the direction of this team is. And me saying that after the years that they had in 2023, and the beginning part of 2024, that first half of the season, that's crazy to me. Like, I could, you kind of build up a young core in your head, and you're like, hey, how can we add these supplemental pieces? And this guy will be signed, that guy will be signed, but you still have questions on Gunnar and Adley and Westberg and Jackson. And, what are they going to do about Eflin, who's a free agent after the year? He's going to command a huge contract if he keeps pitching the way he does coming back. What are they going to do about O'Hearn and Seti? How many of these guys are they actually going to re-sign? The O'Hearn option was a no-brainer. We said that about Coulomb, but we're here now. I don't know. Where 2 years ago, I had a clear thought process of like, hey, it might look something along these lines. It's something along these lines. But then you have other decisions that they've made this season where I'm just like, is it about, like, what are they about right now? And the biggest one, I think, much like Craig Kimbrell last year, is Charlie Morton still being on this roster. Now, again, I've said it. The difference has been that Kimbrell is actually good for them at the beginning part of the year. We Zach and I would go to war for Craig Kimbrell over Clay Holmes for the All-Star game. But then he fell off a cliff, and everyone saw it right in front of their faces. They were pitching a man down in their bullpen for the entire second half of the year until Kimbrell left. And this year with Charlie Morton, what's the stat? They're 0-8 in the games he's pitched, and he has 1 or 2 good innings, or not even that, and then it just absolutely falls apart. They thought they were going to get someone in Trevor Rogers, which, I actually went back and I watched our instant reaction stream to that, Zach, with Ryan when that happened on the deadline. And you and I both were just like, man, this is a head scratcher. It's not the fact that Norby and Stowers got moved.
I was pissed, Kevin. I wasn't saying head scratcher. I was Oh my God.
I said my exact answer was, you like in a way you expected these guys to be moved. And at that point, Mateo would have gone down and you're like, hey, Norby actually had a spot on this team. And you were maybe expecting to be Stowers and someone for Trevor Rogers. Like Stowers clearly was a guy that didn't have a place. And that was unfortunate because I thought that he kind of got the short end of the stick. And now Stowers is going to be Miami's all-star, it feels like. And Norby, too, is
rookie of the week or player of the week. I know player of the week.
And so you're actively, like, throwing assets away. And no longer is this team that, oh, hey, we can go prospect for prospect with anybody. Those guys have either graduated or they're in a Kobe Mayo, Heston Kjerstad spot where it's like, well, are they a part of the big league club? And I think Heston obviously is much more secure in that than Kobe is. But Kobe has not looked good at all. And it's unfortunate because that's a guy that you kind of envision as your headliner in a lot of these deals. And now Ray, if he comes on, Ray, if you're listening, I mean, I said it when you said it first, I agreed with you where it's like, where's Kobe's place on this team? Where's Mounty's place on this team? Kobe's probably getting
coexist right now.
And Kobe, I'm sure, is pissed at his whole situation, and Mounty's uncertain in his future right now. And it's just.
I do want to talk about Kobe's plate. Him at the plate right now. I know it looks bad, but I also watch the
one where he got
screwed on that. And I'm not even talking about just today. I'm talking about his entire.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
One, I think he's he had a good at bat tonight. Fielding's the one thing, I don't think, right now, I think he's still, they even talked about maybe even growing into his body. I think they're going to have to find a place for him in the field because I do think the bat can still be valuable. Listen, we're sitting here talking about just, I don't want to call it the resurgence because, we were expecting, but, everything Jackson Holiday's doing. Do we forget what Jackson looked like when he came up? Like he was doing exactly what Kobe was, even defensively. Remember, Jackson was botching everything. We had flat pop-ups that were falling, next to him. It was rough to watch. I'm not someone who's like, okay, this is, killing Kobe Mayo. I think he still needs a chance. I still am a Kobe Mayo believer, honestly, because we've seen these guys, when they get consistent opportunity, Kevin, we've seen them how they are. Like Kobe Mayo, we've seen his potential. We know what he's capable of, but you need to play consistently. It's like when Jackson was playing every 2 days, he was just going out there to go 0 for 3 and then go up against the next or pinch hit against the top reliever in a big situation. I just, I don't think this is. I'm not on the, Kobe's value's gone. I think you got to give this guy. He's had 47 at bats in the majors over how many months? This isn't like 47 in a 10-day period, a 15-day period. This is 47 at bats over since last July.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's over for him. I never.
Oh no, I don't think. I think there are people who think it's over for him, but I don't think he's 47 at bats. If we gave up, Gunners,
do not give up.
But, these. Yeah, I mean, this is where we're at though with the season, where it just this is what we have to talk about because it's like, okay, there has to be some sort of move, but where is it? Like because someone's got to be the scapegoat.
I mean, I don't think you can keep going like this. You haven't been able to go like this, and they're still doing it. And, I think it's still with Morton, the stubbornness of them paying him the $15 million and wanting it to work out and it not working out and them just being like, okay, well, hey, maybe we'll try this. Well, that didn't work. Okay, maybe we'll try that. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, let's go back to the thing that we tried in the first place and didn't work. And then if he has a good start tomorrow, it's going to buy him like 2 more months. Even if he doesn't pitch well the next, that's the problem as well. So
I don't know where the Orioles go. Like, remember we talked with Mikey. What was that? 3 days ago about what would you do if you were if you were put in as GM right now? I don't know. I don't know. There is not.
I would legitimately sit down and evaluate who you truly think out of your veteran core and pending free agents you want to be a part of this team, and I try to extend them now because it feels like if they hit free agency, a lot of those guys are going. Eflin, Seti, O'Hearn, and I know that there was a couple more on that list, but I mean, who do you really want to be a part of the team? Who contributes to winning? And I mean, it's pretty unrealistic that they keep everybody again. I mean, not that they did last year, but it's very unrealistic that every one of those three names I mentioned stays.
Yeah.
Sure, one of them probably goes. I think you probably move on from Mountcastle at this point, and it's unfortunate because of how much, he's meant to this team. But I'm not in the business of wasting years. I talk about this all the time on Locked On Ravens. I'm not interested. With Lamar Jackson, just very quickly, he's going to be 30 after next season.
Mm-hmm.
You can't waste opportunities. And of course, primes extend. Lamar's prime will be beyond his 30s, but the Ravens have had 3 great opportunities to win Super Bowls, and they came up short. But the difference between the Ravens and the Orioles is at least you felt like, for the most part, the Ravens were doing their best to construct this roster, and their rosters in those losses felt pretty close to perfect. I know they weren't perfect, but you felt good about them. I don't feel good about this Orioles roster in any way, shape, or form.
No, and let's look at the Yankees right now. Yankees just cut DFA Carlos Carrasco. Carlos Carrasco was 2-2 with a 5.91 ERA. Charlie Morton is currently 0-6 with a 9.76 ERA.
I mean, you're getting ahead of it. You're getting ahead of it so things do not spiral from bad to worse. And it just feels like, the Orioles could have been done with Charlie after that 24-2 game and could have probably spared at least, if not even losses, just runs on the board. Give them chances. And, we're in the same situation we were last year with Kimbrel, where every time Morton comes in the game, it's just a wait. And you're like, okay, the game's over now. Any shot of it it's done. It felt like when they put him in the 8th in that Royals game, it's just, okay, they're giving up. That's it. That's the ball game. And outside of that, I mean, Perez, it hasn't been as bad as he was at the beginning of the year because every time he came in, it was 8 runs.
I mean, it was the bar was on the floor to be better than he was.
And so, yes, he's been better from the floor bar, but again, he has not been great. And this is what I've been saying with the bullpen. That's been their calling card this year for the most part. It's going to be the worst part of their team in August and September. You want to know why? Not because of the talent level, but because these starters, and Povich was still able to go 6 tonight, which very thankful about.
Massive. That was the one good thing you could take away from tonight. At least he didn't blow up and have to get taken out in the 3rd, and then the bullpen's done. Because Kevin, they're probably going to need the bullpen tomorrow.
I mean, do you even call it? Is this a bullpen game? Is this Charlie Morton? Is he the opener? It
might be. I'm genuinely curious about what they're going to do with that tomorrow. Also, I couldn't agree more. This is what's frustrating is we put up with those years of pain and aren't getting the Astros level playoff, which we deserve. The promise was that we were going to be like the Astros. We were going to go for 10 years and be the dynasty. And, it was 2 or 3 World Series championships and all that.
Yeah, it's
8 games, 10 games under 500 last 110. Yeah. 12 games under, sorry.
I don't know. Let's try to get some more super chats before we get to the call-ins.
Yeah, I'll start putting call-in links.
Yeah. Mike, appreciate you for the $2. How many years does Elias have on his contract? Did they make that public? I'm not sure.
Did they just extend him or Brandon
Hyde? I think it was.
Yeah, when I look up Mike Elias' contract, not a lot pops up.
Yeah, I don't think they make that public. If I'm not mistaken, if someone knows it, put it in the chat. But I have not seen any public information on Elias's deal.
Yeah.
So I don't know the answer to this question. I wish I did. Yeah. All right. Jabo's saying they don't reveal those details. So I don't know, Mike. I wish I had an answer for you, but I think that he has at least one more year. Again, is that what I would do? I don't know. I mean, I think he's pretty royally screwed this season up, along with a lot of other things for Baltimore here. But I think it would be Hyde before Elias. So that is my opinion on that. C Money, thank you for the $5. Tell him to turn super chats on. So I think this is in relation to the Elias interview. I think I don't know if super chats will be on or not. I don't even know if it's live. Is it live on the show?
No, I don't believe so.
Oh, okay. All right. So then I guess that answers that question, Z Money. I don't think there are going to be super chats there.
I don't know, though. I actually not sure.
So, yeah, if it is live, I don't think we're going to – I mean, again, I don't control that, but I don't think we're going to limit super chats. I don't think we ever do that. So, it's live. Sure, feel free. Feel free. Yeah, I don't really have a lot of details on the interview, though. I'll probably learn more about that tonight or tomorrow. Walter with the $5. Appreciate you, Walter. Almost 25% into the season. We are what our record says. Just got to hope Elias learns from his offseason mistakes and adds legit pitching. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that makes this year any easier, for being honest. I mean, we can always look ahead to next season, and in ways that's always exciting, but it doesn't feel exciting when the product on the field right now is just so awful. And the players feel the weight, the coaching feels the weight, the decision makers feel the weight, but they made this bed and now they have to lay in it. Like, they did this to themselves. And, this is what Brandon Hyde has to work with. Hyde has not made miraculous decisions all season. He obviously has had his share of the blame, and so do the players. The players look dejected, disinterested at times, and you're not going to win ball games that way. So that's why I say it's a top-down organizational failure here this season so far. Tommy's saying, ask him how he could hire Seattle sitting coach, $2. Appreciate you, Tommy. Yeah, I think we had a conversation about that when it happened, didn't we, Zach?
Yeah,
about, them hiring,
and they once again got two. They hired two.
Yeah, it's tough. And then we got Jason being a new member. Jason, appreciate you for becoming a member. Wally says, Zach, Orioles are 2 games away from 10 under. You said earlier this season, if they fall under 10, Hyde may be fired. We're very close. Does it happen? Zach, I'll take it away.
I think we are. I don't know I don't think it's going to be they hit 10 and he's fired. But I'm telling you, this is a very winnable month. Very, 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 very winnable month. And if they find themselves, I'll give it May 20th, 2 weeks. On May 20th, they are sitting at even. I'll give them 8 games where they currently are. If they just you got to make a move. You've got to make a move. You can't. The longer you sit around and let the game go, it's going to be. And I don't know if Hyde's the one that should go. That's why I keep thinking. I don't know if he's the one who should go, but he's going to be the one to go. He's going to be the one to get to be scapegoated.
I mean, it would be. I don't think they do a Nuggets maneuver and fire both the coach and the GM at the same time. I mean, things would have to be historically bad in that locker room for that to happen, which it was in Denver. So I feel like because even in Memphis, Zach, just NBA, the Grizzlies fired the coach, but not the GM. Right?
Yeah.
That's how that happens. So it's very rare you see a complete clean house. It's not impossible, and it certainly does happen. But, I think that if there is a scapegoat here, it probably would be Brandon Hyde. We got Kyle, $5. Appreciate you. Orioles have to go all in, pitching trade stars. They won't stay. Why they give Adley a big contract when he won't be catching much longer. And that is a conversation about Adley. Where is his future position? Does he move to first? And I know, Zach, we've had that about is there a possibility here? I mean, Basayo's going to come up. You can't hold him down there much longer. I mean, what does that look like for the future of Adley Rutschman, whether it is with the team or with the team in a different position? I mean, are you still Basayo catching Adley first, or where do you think they fit in together?
I think Basayo will catch or DH. I think it's still going to be till August for Basayo, maybe even September. No, I don't expect to see him in the next 3 months. I just don't, especially right now, if they're just going to sit on the bench. Why would we? Makes no sense.
You can certainly help their offense. I'll tell you, the way that they're playing, it certainly help their offense. So, we'll see. And then Walter, $5. Appreciate you, Walter. Again, the bullpen gets even more strained because Hyde pulls starters doing well after 82 pitches. You can really give blame to Elias, Hyde, Sig, etc. I agree. I think Hyde pulls pitchers too early at times, and I think that is very detrimental to their bullpen, and is why I think that the bullpen, by the time August and September rolls around, if things keep up the way they are, is going to just be torched. And then we're going to come on here and say, man, the bullpen blew this game, or the bullpen looks terrible. And every time we will point back to why it looks bad, why they looked so good at the beginning of the season, because, hey, those guys are rested up. They're playing well. And then they just it's just use after use after use, and sometimes very unnecessary use.
Yeah.
And, if I'll just say it now, like if we in August and September have to talk about how bad this bullpen is, I'm not going to put the full blame on them, because they were put in a bad spot at the beginning of the season. And here we are, or there we are, I guess, at that point. So, oh man, appreciate everybody for their thoughts and comments. And we also, we also feel the dismay, the disheartenedness. Is that a word? I guess it's a word now because I said it, but
yeah.
Just all the emotions in this. We care about this team. We want this team to be successful, and it's difficult. Like, we feel these emotions with you, and it's why it's important for us to pop on here and share that, like, we feel what you're feeling. We feel the frustration and the upsetness and the sadness of, like, man, it really felt like this team was on the upswing, and here we are. So it's still early enough, but at a time, it's not going to be early enough, and they have to figure it out, because May is the do or die month for us. The schedule permits you with these teams to maybe get back on track here, and that's what they hopefully can do. So, Zach, you put the call-in link in, you said?
Yeah, call-in link is live. So,
if you want to call in and you remember, you can click that call-in link in the posts tab of the page, the YouTube page for Kevin and Zach React. We actually have our first call-in of the night. He is sitting backstage, and he is from Arkansas. You might know him as Arkansas Joe, or the biggest Hog fan around. Let's bring him on. Yo, what's going on? Streak lives, my friend.
Streak lives. The Orioles played baseball.
There was a game. There was a game tonight.
They attempted.
But how about this? We'll give you an Arkansas fact. We'll clear the water a little bit.
All right.
I'll take you.
January 10th, 1921, oil was struck in Union County, Arkansas. By 1925, 30,000 people lived in El Dorado. Murphy Oil is still located in that's where their home office is, down there, southern Arkansas.
Wow. My favorite Arkansas fact that you gave was the one about mining for gold.
It's diamonds.
Or diamonds. I always say
diamonds, Kevin.
I always say gold. Diamonds. Well, I like diamonds better. So, it works out for me. So
diamonds are forever, right?
Diamonds are forever. You gotta love
it. I wish I could find some gold right now. That stuff's pretty valuable these days.
Man, it's doing well.
$3,500 an ounce. I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean,
but
the Orioles need some diamonds right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would like for the Orioles to strike gold with something.
Check it out. Charlie Morton's going 7 innings tomorrow. Going to surprise the world.
Man,
7 innings, a 2-run ball.
I would love it. I would love every second.
That might be the boldest prediction we've had all year.
I mean, why not? What we got to lose at this point, right?
Yeah, at this point, just perfect game, Charlie Morton, man.
Hey, there you go, Kevin. You go deeper. Perfect game, Charlie Morton. Tweet it out.
Man.
Let's go. Reverse psychology.
Reverse psychology. Yeah,
Well, that's all I got for you, fellas.
All right, Joe.
Catch you next time, Joe.
Appreciate you, man. Peace.
I like this from Joe. And we lose 2-0.
Hey, 7 innings. If they waste, I don't know what I would do if they wasted a 7-inning shutout performance from Charlie Morton. if they wasted a 7-inning shutout, and not that I'm expecting it, but like if they wasted that.
I like how you're already getting upset about.
Well, that's what you do. You said, I know the lineup is going to be no Jackson, and I'm already tweeting about it now. So, I'm channeling your inner you.
Sometimes I just get pre-mad about things. So let's move on to our next caller. We got Ray behind the scenes. Ray.
Oh, Ray, what's going on, buddy?
I sat through a 5-hour Civ Pro final, and that was the second most painful thing in my day.
And you know what? It says a lot about where this team is right now. Because I don't think if I was in your spot, I'd probably feel the same way.
You were talking earlier about if I was the GM, what would I do? If you want someone who's a washed-up pitcher, Carrasco's got to be better. He's got to.
Man,
you know it's coming too. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. If the Orioles sign,
I mean, if Carrasco could pitch tomorrow, would you rather do that though? It's an honest question.
I guess
yeah,
I would.
I didn't even think about that. Unfortunately, that probably would be an upgrade.
If I was running this team, at this point, you're 8 games under 500. In my opinion, mass casualties in terms of Morton gets DFA'd, Mateo gets DFA'd, Perez gets DFA'd, and just bring up people who, when the Orioles in 2023, Gunnar was a rookie, we were relying on guys with clutch hits who weren't exactly celebrated. Adam Frazier. I feel like I really like Rivera because when Rivera plays, he produces to that in the same way. But they just lack like glue guys. We have the stars, and the stars have been underwhelming. But who's the glue guy on this team? O'Hearn. But O'Hearn's been the star through a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the thing is, unfortunately, your glue guys, Cedric, unfortunately, your glue guys with O'Hearn, they've had to be the stars. And, yeah, it's awesome. Love the start that both of them have had to the season. They should not be the ones that are having to will this team to victories, and that's what they're having to do, will this team. We see 3-run homer from O'Hearn, and okay, you'll win 4-1, so or 4-3. That would have been a loss if O'Hearn doesn't go yard. You see Cedric Mullins, big games, even today, he's saving them in the field. It just feels like those guys up until Holiday really started getting going. And obviously Gunnar recently snapped his 9-game hit streak tonight, but it felt like those guys were the only ones that had any sort of fight.
Yeah. I got a first extension idea for you guys.
What are we thinking?
Yeah.
What about Felix? I think you can get him cheaper than at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I don't hate that at all.
Not at all. And he's definitely someone that you got to keep around because we've seen life without him.
Yeah,
right.
If he keeps picking up the way that he has and continues this, you're right. The price is going to go up. So
bullpen arms are so volatile in the major leagues year in year out that when you get a special one, you got to keep them around.
Yeah, and I think that's a move that people could get behind. That's exactly. Like a move that
everyone would be
very happy with.
Yeah,
I think that would be an awesome way to just kind of kick off hopefully the extensions. And I think that would actually be a very good first extension. Lovable guy, someone that I think is very key, vital to this team's success. And I think you go from there.
Yeah. Where are we on the Kobe Mayo for Sonny Gray package right now?
I don't know about
Zach, am I a certified Mayo hater at this point? Like, I'm not trying to be. I'm really not.
I don't know if you tuned into us last year, Ray, but Zach was the Austin Slater of Austin Slater was his worst enemy. I'm not sure we're approaching that level with you yet, but
you hate it. We got him for cash.
Doesn't matter. They had that man leading off, and I was over it.
The tweets out of Zach's Twitter account when Austin Slater would be in the lineup leading off, and then the best part was
he bothered you more than Eloy.
Yeah, at least Eloy was funny. Like we were just losing. At least Eloy brought vibes. I don't know what Austin Slater's voice sounds like.
Eloy hit a baseball like I hit a golf ball.
Yeah, dude loved
on the ground.
Dude loved ground balls. It was incredible. Like it was just every at bat was a ground ball.
And I ran to the green faster than he ran to first base.
I'm sure you got that. Ray, appreciate you calling in as always, my friend.
fellas,
and,
appreciate you, Ray.
We'll see you. Get you next
Peace
time.
out.
Awesome.
Oh,
Let's
man.
let's
so
keep it
funny.
rolling. We got Gordon behind the scenes for our next one. Oh, actually, we got
All right,
Jason.
now it's Jason. Now Jason's coming on. Okay, what's up, Jason?
What's good, guys? How you doing?
Good. Little impromptu from Zach there.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
Man, I don't even know where to start with this team.
Yeah.
17 strikeouts tonight. That's a major problem. I think it lends itself to our hitting woes with runners in scoring position. When you can't put the ball in play, nothing good can happen. And I think that's been a major issue with this team for the last, the numbers Zach read off, probably the last 110 games, is just they strike out far too much. I would give my left arm for a guy that just gets on base and can, make contact. We just can't do it. It's so frustrating.
It is.
And that's the most frustrating thing about this team right now is just the inability.
Yeah. I think with the strikeouts especially, it's just especially with runners in scoring position, guys on third, less than 2 outs, and you can't get them in. That is my biggest pet peeve with this Orioles team, is in the most inopportune times. It's not even, okay, you strike out, teams strike out, that happens. It just feels like it's always in the big moment. Okay, guy gets on third with no outs. This is a massive opportunity to, get a run on board. Strikeout, pop up. And you're like, awesome. Just need to put the ball in play one time with less than 2 outs and you get the run. And even times when the infield's playing back and they're like, hey, if you get a ground ball, we'll give you the run. And early in the game, we'll give you the run. We'll get the out.
Right.
And we can't get it. Like, just hit a ground ball. I'm not asking you to put it 450 dead center. Hit a ground ball to the shortstop and you get an RBI. And when they can't put the ball in play and they're striking out, that is the most frustrating aspect.
Yeah, I think there's a fundamental flaw in their approach at the plate just because, sometimes I wonder what the approach is. Like literally, like they go up there and it just doesn't seem like they know what the situation is. Like if you've got a guy on third and 1 out, if you roll over to second base, that's a run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like it's so frustrating because it's like they just go up there swinging for the fences all the time, and that's when you get 17 strikeouts. And they have games where they just have piss poor at bats all game long, and it's like they talk about these hitters meetings. What do they talk about in them?
Yeah,
because the approach is so poor. And it's frustrating as a fan because you see regression from some of these guys like Adley Rutschman and other players. And I don't know what to do. I don't know if it's going to have to be an organizational shift from Elias and his crew to something completely different, because I think we overcorrected to analytics. Before we had no analytics. Now we're overcorrected to it. There's no feel for the game at all.
Nope. And I completely agree with that. I mean, Kevin, we've talked to so many guys, Mark DeRosa being one of them. And he said the biggest team right now where you look at is the Giants. The Giants kind of said, we appreciate the numbers, but we're going off of feel. We know what a good ball player is, who are good ball players, and who we should be having in certain situations. And Buster Posey is running that based off feel. He's running that organization not off of, he's hitting 310, but his numbers show he's expected to be batting 250. They're saying, no, he's batting 310 right now. He's swinging the bat well. Let's go out and let him play. So I think that's where, they have, I think you nailed it. They overcorrected. They went from, they were strictly, no analytics. And now it's all analytics. It's just it doesn't feel like there is feel to what's going on.
And I don't know about you guys, but outside of like a guy like Scooble, I want to see Holiday in the lineup every damn night. Until he says I need a day.
Yeah.
Other than that, I want him out there. Like you want your young players out there to see, because they're never going to learn to hit left-handed pitching watching it. You know what I mean? On the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And I think And just one more thing, I think Jackson Holliday's certainly got a much better chance of hitting a left-handed pitcher than Jorge Mateo does.
Yep,
And he's
without a doubt.
right-handed.
That's exactly right. And
if he goes 0 for 3, so would Jorge.
Yeah, I mean,
and then you learn something though. Jackson will learn something from those at bats that he can take forward with him. There's value in failure. There is, but not failure when you're not even getting an opportunity. You're just sitting on the bench. So.
The thing is, we're not talking about the other option for Jackson against left-handed pitching being this like even serviceable player. Right? Who can give you. It's literally someone who just has done essentially he has 4 hits. They're all against lefties, and that's all he's done this season for you. And like he hasn't produced. And Jason, back to your point about them just getting somebody who can hit for contact and get on base and just help.
Yes.
It felt like they could have addressed the trade deadline last year. Zach and I were screaming from the rooftops, like, hey, they probably need another bat. Go out there and get someone. Zach, didn't we mention like Tommy Pham and like not like a all-star
not big names.
Player.
Yeah. Just guys that can make contact.
Someone who you can slot in either in the leadoff spot if you need to, or 7th or 8th, just in that lineup to get on base. And they went out and got Eloy Jimenez instead. And that was just. It felt like the wrong type of bat. And maybe if they had gotten someone last trade deadline, they could have either extended that guy or he would have been under team control, and they could have had that problem solved and addressed already. But it just feels like they need so many different things and have to pull. And it feels like last year's trade deadline, like they had hits. Like Eflin's been great. Dominguez has had moments. Soto's had moments, etc. But it just felt like all the disappointment of the Rogers deal and some of the other deals that they made it didn't feel like they did enough then. And I felt like you can't address it all in one offseason, all in one stretch. And it felt like last year's trade deadline to me was a pretty big missed opportunity.
Yeah. 2 last things I want to share before I bounce out of here, guys. The Hyde talk for me, it's simple. If there's even a 5% chance that making a change can change the vibes of this team, even if it's 5%, you got to do it. It's worth the risk. You look at the Phillies, they were playing terrible baseball. There's plenty of examples of it. Does that mean it's going to happen? No. Do I blame Hyde completely? No. But you can't trade 26 guys. And I think it's been 7 years. They need a new voice. I don't care whether that's Buck or Chirinos. I just think it's time. I wouldn't personally have brought Hyde back at all, but that's neither here nor there. But at this point, like, unless they want Camden Yards to be an absolute morgue during the summer when we're 20 games under 500, they have to show they care, that the fan base, that they care. And if they don't, we're just going to continue to get worse. And that's frustrating for me as a longtime O's fan. It's been since '83 since we've been to a World Series. I was hoping maybe, last year, maybe the year before. This year looks very unlikely. So 2026 is maybe the year. But last thing I want to say is you guys do a great job. I just joined as a member, and I'm probably going to be on here for my Orioles therapy on a nightly basis. So I appreciate you both, man. You do a hell of a job.
Well, we appreciate you, Jason, and it's for the moments that we can provide and through the wins and the losses. Unfortunately, it's been more losses than wins this year, but really, really happy to hear that you like what we do.
Really appreciate that, Jason. I appreciate you calling in. Looking forward to
seeing y'all here more. Hopefully,
you'll hear from you guys. Trust me.
All right, let's go. Love it.
Take care.
All right, yeah. Have a good night, Jason.
Awesome. I love when people calling, when we get new call-ins, it's always the best. I love talking to everyone. Awesome. It's just great. So great to hear.
For sure.
Now we'll actually. I think
you pulled a fast one on.
He's good. He's good. He's good. We got our guy Gordon on.
What's up, Gordon?
What's going on? This is episode what game are we in this year so far?
34.
All right, so episode 34 of the Orioles disappointing. This is literally I want to have a serious talk about this Orioles team. I had to take some notes. Honestly, what is the standard for not even just this team, not even for the players, but the front office itself? Like, honestly, what is the standard? We're having a product out there that everybody can see that's not working, but we have yet to make changes. Why are we? Is this a clubhouse or is this a multi-million-dollar organization that is that is trying to win, because that's what we're expected to do. Those were the trades that we had. And like, what is the standard? Because it doesn't seem like a standard. I feel like the standard recently has been sign these bare minimum guys to a
Mhm.
1 year deal and have them overly exceed expectations. And now it's not doing that because, like I said before, we had Adam Frazier. Adam Frazier wasn't a big signing, like, oh my God, we got Adam Frazier. Rougned Odor, even O'Hearn. O'Hearn was like, no, oh my God. Like when we signed him, it was like, okay, all right, for cash considerations, but these
Yeah.
guys have exceeded expectations. And we went out there, signed Dylan Carlson, Ramon Laureano, people who weren't really expected, and we're expecting them to be everyday players, platoon players that haven't even in their career or even in their season have shown that, hey, they can come off the bench and produce and all of this, and expect them to play. And we're relying on young guys that haven't even proved it. That like that's just like building a whole entire team. The Ravens saying, hey, we're just going to have our rookies go out there and play every single down, every single, and, you know, we'll sign like maybe one old lineman, but we're just going to go out there and sign every rookie out there and expect them to go win the Super Bowl. Like it's not working. Like the standard for this team has been basically just to exceed expectations. And that's literally what we've been doing. And we have yet to even be like, hey, I know we exceeded expectations, so let's make this thing for real. Let's go out here and sign Corbin Burns for 6 years. Let's go out here and sign, I don't know who was a free agent last year, but a big time hitter last year that matches with these guys. Like what is the standard for this team, honestly?
Yeah,
Like,
I can't tell you.
I,
And that's the thing is, you know, Kevin, do you have something?
no, go ahead. I'll go after you.
I was just going to say, and I don't think it helps that, you know, when we now also have an ownership change and you're like, okay, this new ownership is supposed to come in and spend all this money and they haven't, whether that's their fault or if they're giving a lot, because we don't know. I know I hate when people are like, oh, Rubenstein's being so cheap. Rubenstein might have told Elias that he could spend $1 billion this offseason. Elias didn't do it. Like, I don't know those conversations, so I'm not going to assume
shoot,
that.
we gave Charlie Morton $15 million.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
opened
so
up the
clearly
checkbook
the-
for that. So
yeah.
The
clearly,
wallet's open.
Right.
Like
Literally.
we got the cash, and that's the point. Is they have had those opportunities. They have spent money. I mean, that they think they spent like 60 plus million, 70 million this offseason. Now it wasn't on the pieces we were hoping it would be. It was on a lot of other, Gary Sanchez getting 8 million.
Yeah.
They gave Sagano, who
Yeah.
never pitched over here, 15 million. So
Exactly.
yeah, the money's there. I don't know. Is this one of those things where it's, they are convinced that they can be the anti-Dodgers and they want to go this cheap route? I don't know. Is it, because if that's the case, it ain't working.
It's really not. Like I like another thing I don't understand. What happened to Emmanuel Rivera last year when we were, towards the end of the season, we didn't have that much production from the offense. We were having the same exact conversations.
Yeah.
I remember Emmanuel Rivera having those games where, he was
Carried the
balling
offense.
and he was the offense. Even the same thing in the regular season. I mean, what is it? Spring training. He had a pretty decent spring training, right?
Yeah.
I was expecting him to be on this team. Why is he not on the team?
He actually just is. He just.
I mean, now he
Yeah.
is. But I mean,
Yeah,
why
I
didn't he
agree.
start? Like,
Yeah.
he's been reliable. Like, not reliable, but when he was here, he's been producing. And it's just like I'm not. I don't want to say this, but I am not a Kobe Mayo or a Heston Kjerstad fan. I'm sorry. I just don't see. I was a Kyle Stowers fan. That was my guy. I love Kyle Stowers. Like when we traded him, I almost shed a tear because I was like, man, he can play the field. He's not slow. He's fast. He gets to plays in the outfield. And, just give him time to develop in the offense and give him an actual shot. Like, he didn't have that crazy big of a leg swing and looked like he was on time. Like, he had the way that I saw it, it looked like he had it. And that's what I felt like. I felt it. But, like, with these guys, like Kobe Mayo or what, like, maybe I might be wrong, but I don't know. But with Kobe Mayo or Kjerstad, I just kind of don't see it. That's just me personally. And I remember what's his name, Jason, that said that he was a Kobe Mayo not so much of a fan. And I agree with him on that one. Well, personally, but like it's just, and another thing that I wrote down was, man, what is up with the bottom of the opponent's lineup hurting us? Like what is up with that? Because isn't the start of the fifth inning, 5-run inning, started with a single and another bloop single, and then the top of the lineup just cracked us. Byron Buxton hits a 3-run or 2-run home. At that point, I just was watching it on my phone, like it was like what is up with the bottom of the lineup?
Bottom of the lineup at orders killing the Orioles.
I don't understand. And against the Royals, in the last game, it was like players that had their first hits with the team, that's been on the team for a week that hasn't even gotten a hit. Players that haven't even gotten a home run in the first like their first home run. What is our game plan? What is our batting what like someone said before? What are our approaches going up there without even with the pitching? Like it's frustrating. The only thing that I can say that we could do to bring some morale in, bring Adam Jones into this, and let him have a huge part of this lineup. Like Adam Jones will bring the swagger and the feeling of what all Orioles fans right now. Let him bring a part of this. Like Adam Jones is that guy, you know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that there needs to be some sort of energy shift
Literally.
somewhere.
And two more things, just quick.
Yeah.
Pitches down the middle. I was watching the game, and there were so many fastballs right down the middle just being taken. Fastballs right down the middle just being fouled off right behind the screen. Like I'm not going to say it's easy to hit a fastball right down the middle, but you're a big league baseball player that eat, sleep, breathe this. Players that are 28 years old and have 28 years of, I mean, shoot, they made it to the major leagues for a reason. You know, if they see a fastball, they should capitalize off of it, because guess what? The Royals did it against us. They saw fastballs, they capitalized against us. The Twins did it against us. Like it can happen. I'm not saying like it's impossible for us to follow, but these mistake pitches, we're not capitalizing on it whatsoever. And that being said, another thing is we haven't had a systemically, like with this team, we haven't had a true hitter that has hit over 300 since Nick Markakis, and the closest person was Manny Machado. I think it was like 392. I mean 292 or something. But since Nick Markakis, we haven't had a batter that has played at least 150 games that hit, or however many games he played, 140, but that has started the season and ended the season with us, that hit over 300. And Nick Markakis hasn't played with us in how many years? Almost 10 years.
Yeah, it's getting close to 10.
Like what's up with that? Like why? Like, what is the philosophy this team is teaching us? Like teaching these hitters. And Nick Markakis wasn't a big home run guy. He wasn't. Like he would get out there with a 20, 25 home runs, but like he was a get on base, like grind it out type baseball player. I don't know. And I'm sorry to keep going on, and I know you guys want it short, but this watching this was frustrating, because I understand you keep saying that this is a beatable month for us and the Orioles, but this team hasn't even given me confidence enough to beat terrible teams. Like, we give other teams confidence. Be like, hey, we're facing the Orioles. This is our time to get right. Not the other way around.
No, it is. I mean, it does feel like right now, your point about the, fastballs down the middle, you're going to miss fastballs. That's part of the game, that's all. But what sucks is when it feels like it's 6 different players all across the game had an opportunity where in a situation something got hung and they just fouled it back, or they absolutely destroy it, foul.
Exactly.
And you're like, damn.
It's not like it was like, man, only if Heston had that one and that was the only one. But it's like, all right, I see Heston go up there, foul back a fastball right down the middle. Even, I mean, I'll see Gunnar do it. I'll see Adley do it. I'll see who else was in the lineup today that I saw do Mayo. I mean, Mayo, obviously he has to get some time under his belt. But like these guys that's been there just fouling off fastballs right down the middle, or even off speed. It's just like, it's like, man, can we just capitalize on something? I understand that we're terrible, but just don't be terrible all around the board. If we're going to be terrible with our pitching, at least let our offense be good. At least let our defense be stellar. If we know we're somewhere terrible in our team, and it's understood because as fans know it, the players know it. At least let something be great about this team. But all around it's just like,
It's tough.
tough.
It's tough.
It's brutal. It's brutal. It's tough every night to honestly watch, and you're just like, you just hope.
Literally hope. And I'm always optimistic because, like I always keep saying, it always takes one win to turn everything around. You can't lose and be like, all right, lose, but all it takes is one win, and that's all we need, man. All we need.
Yep.
So I apologize for the long rant, but
No, this is what we're here for.
Not at all. Not at all.
You made a lot of great points, and
Yeah,
it is
sure.
frustrating.
Yeah,
This whole season has been.
Yeah, definitely.
literally
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Gordon,
But-
appreciate you as always, man. Thanks for
Yes.
calling in. Wise words and wisdom as always. So hopefully some of that can be used on W's. Hopefully the Orioles can let you speak some of that on W's
I know.
from now on.
I know. Look, it feels like a win is there, and then the optimism is there, and then the Orioles just go out egg.
It's deflating. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It's tough.
Well,
Awesome.
Gordon,
appreciate you, man.
We'll catch you later, my
Have a
friend.
good one. Y'all be
You
safe.
too. Yes, you as well. Awesome.
Always great to have Gordon on.
Yeah, always.
I mean, Kevin, it's just a deflating season so far. I mean, every game is just the same. It feels like the Orioles have 13 wins, Kevin. It's tied for the third worst in baseball.
That's very sad.
I can tell you they have a lot more talent than the three teams that they are down there with.
Well, they're not playing like it, unfortunately. Not
I mean, where do I don't know where we even go. So,
oh man.
Got anything else?
That's it, man. I'm tired of saying get them tomorrow, but get them tomorrow. I don't know.
Charlie Morton on the mound tomorrow.
I forgot about that until just now, and now I'm upset again. So
that's gonna do it for the edition of Kevin and Zach React. Hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel. If you enjoy the content, go live after every single Orioles game, win or lose. That's gonna do it for tonight. Orioles lose 9-1, but we'll be back at it tomorrow as the Orioles take on the Twins in Game 2 of the series. So we'll see you after that. Alejandro De Aza.
oh, that's such a good one. Dwight Smith Jr.
Good pull, Kevin.
Oh,
Good
Daza was